have children, so I want to begin talking about Dollywood. 31st season?
Yes, can you believe it? It seems like it just was like 8 or 10 years ago that we opened that, but kids all over the world have enjoyed Dollywood.
Indeed. Now, there's a new roller coaster for this new season.
Yes, and your kids will probably love it. I don't know how old they are, but it's a wooden roller coaster. It's actually supposedly the first of its kind. It's like, they're saying it's the first launched wooden roller coaster. I don't know what that means. I think it means that it takes off.
Yes, wow.
And also, it's the fastest wooden roller coaster. It goes like 73 miles an hour, which is quite a bit for a wooden roller coaster.
Indeed.
But it covers a lot of territory. But we've got a lot of wonderful things at Dollywood, and it's called Lightning Rod, and that's our new addition.
Now, do you ride Lightning Rod?
No, I don't ride any of them with this hair and with all my stuff. Not good.
Now, Coat of Many Colors, I actually watched it this morning before coming to see you, moved by it. Hard to believe that Dolly Parton, icon, country music singer, actress, came from such humble beginnings.
Well, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do the show, because people like me have to come from somewhere. And I've always been really proud of my family and my mom and my dad, and I really wanted to really pay them the respect that I think they deserve. So I wanted it to be more about them than it really was about me, which I think it really was, because to show what a good mom and, you know, good parents we had. And so it really was touching to me. It was a true story from my childhood. And so it really did well. And I've really missed having family, faith-based shows on TV. Like I used to love The Waltons. I loved Little House on the Prairie, those family-oriented shows. And so I wondered if there was an audience for it now with all the craziness that is on TV. And evidently there was. So people really enjoyed it, and I'm real proud of it.
It's a beautiful love story between your mom and dad and overcoming difficulty. My wife and I have lost a child pretty much the same way, so I identify with that. How would you describe their love story?
Well, Mom and Daddy, my mama never loved anybody but my daddy in her whole life. I don't think he ever loved anybody else but her. They married. Mom was just 15 and Daddy was 17.
Wow.
And so they, you know, my daddy, he was a handsome man. My mom was always a little bit jealous, just like we showed in the movie. She was always afraid. But she was a beautiful woman. Mama had a very good heart, and she was very Christian. She was, my grandpa was a preacher. So she really she ruled us with love, where my daddy, we had to watch ourselves with him. It was like, now don't you cross that line, because I can't, your daddy will, you know, you got to answer your daddy.
Nice.
But anyway, they were good parents, and but their love story was beautiful. And so Mama never looked any way besides. She'd choose Daddy over us, and she loved us better than anything, if that'll give you any truth.
Beautiful. Now, you are approaching 50 years of marriage yourself. Are they the example for you and your husband?
Well, no, I don't. Well, my husband always loved my dad and my mom, but I think my husband and my relationship really just was a godsend, because God knew I was going to need somebody like him if I was going to be doing all this crazy stuff. But he knew he was going to need somebody like me, you know, because Carl's very much a loner, and he doesn't really want to be with anybody but me. So so we have a really good relationship. He's always been for me. He's always been supportive, but he doesn't try to get into the business. He's always said, just leave me out of that. I'm not going to any of these shindigs. I'm not doing any of that. But we have our things that we do separately and together, and we've been together 52 years in May, but we've been married 50.
Beautiful.
I mean, we met 2 years before we married.
I lived in Chattanooga, so when I was reading, you got married in Ringgold, Georgia?
Yes, we sure did. My husband, for a while, had actually lived in right across the line there in Missionary Ridge.
Yes, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, he lived there for a little while. His daddy used to drive an SO truck, and I think they moved around a little. He was born and raised in Nashville, but they lived in that area. So yeah, that's just across the line, and we went over there to keep it out of the Tennessee papers, you know, because my record label had asked me not to get married for a year. Well, we went that weekend and did it.
And now you are getting ready to tour 60 cities, I'm reading. Are you up for that?
I'm ready. I'm all for it. Actually, I love touring. I live on my bus. I don't stay in hotels. I don't have to fly, so I don't wear myself out with that. I got all my things on the bus, so I just pull up to the Coliseum or Auditorium, Theater, wherever we're working. I go in and do a little sound check at about 4 in the afternoon. I go back, take a nap, eat supper, get ready for the show. As soon as the show's over, I hit the bus, go to bed, and it's good. But I really enjoy the crowd. I love that love fest between myself and my audience. And I love to travel. I'm a gypsy. I never got over that. I've always loved going. And so I think it's going to be a good time. We were just, so many good things were happening, and we got such wonderful publicity and press when we were on the European tour, and it was all spilling back over here, so different people were saying, why don't you come and do this? And I thought, well, I'll wait to my American and Canadian fans, to do an extensive tour rather than just a spot here and there.
Beautiful.
So I'm looking forward to it, actually.
And we're looking forward to it as well.
Good.
Now, you are being awarded for the Coat of Many Colors at the ACM, the Tex Ritter Award. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good because it's up there with, they honor shows like The Coal Miner's Daughter, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Once they've honored the best little chicken house in Texas with Burt Reynolds. And so it's a great honor. I just love that The Coat is getting so much attention because that was my favorite song that I've ever written. I've written thousands of songs, but The Little Coat of Many Colors I've always said was my favorite.
That's your favorite?
Yes.
Out of 3,000?
Only because it's more than a song. It's about an attitude. It's about love, kindness, understanding, overcoming, and it's a good anti-bullying song.
Indeed.
So it has all the elements of something special. So I always get more out of it than it just being a song, because it makes me think about Mama, makes me feel blessed that I had a good mother that tried to make us feel better about things even when they were at their worst. She knew that old ragged coat was going to be made fun of, I'm sure, because it was so many colors, but she wanted to make it special, so she told the story of Joseph from the Bible. So.
Now, you started singing in your grandfather's church. He was a minister. How vivid are those memories today?
Oh, very vivid. I keep all that stuff very close to my heart. I mean, I grew up knowing Jesus loved me, and I knew that through God all things were possible, and I just grew up with those little things that we just heard all the time. My grandpa was a really good preacher. He used to scare me a little bit. He was that hellfire, brimstone kind of preacher. I wrote a song years ago called Daddy Was an Old-Time Preacher Man. It was about him, about my grandpa, because one of the lines is, he preached hell so hot you could feel the heat. So he was one of those people. But anyway, it was a good life, and I wouldn't take nothing for it. I mean, we had a hard time. But I think everybody should be proud of their family. I think you should be proud of your religion. I don't care what it is. We're just all trying to get to God, And
Indeed.
and everybody has their own path. So people say, well, I'm surprised that you really talk about, your faith. I said, well, why not? That's who I am. That's what keeps me going.
Beautiful. I love it. Now, speaking of coming from preachers, Katy Perry comes from Christian preaching parents, and you two are going to be performing.
Yes, we are. In fact, we kind of have that in common. I don't know her yet, but I'm hoping to. But she's been a fan of mine. I've read so many times. She said so many nice things about me, and she came to Dollywood, brought a bunch of friends, and so I'm really looking forward to it. I think she's a great artist, and so we're going to probably sing The Coat of Many Colors and possibly do a bit of Jolene too. We're probably going to put the two together and kind of sing one, part of Coat or half of Coat, and then maybe do some Jolene, because Jolene's going to be another movie of my songs that they're making a movie on NBC.
Okay, so you got a few movies coming with NBC.
I've sold a 4-picture deal with them.
Nice. So we got lots to look forward to. Now, the song that stands out for Dolly Parton, for many in this country and around the world, I Will Always Love You. What a song. Now, that was written because of a breakup professionally? Is that what?
Yes. Actually, I worked with a man named Porter Wagoner for years. He gave me my first really big break out of Nashville. He had the #1 syndicated show at that time in Nashville. And back to '67, I started with him. And so we were known for our bickering and fighting back and forth, because I never wanted to be just a girl singer. I wanted to have my own career, and I said I'd stay for 5 years. Well, 5 years came and went, and so we kind of had our little problems, and he just did not want me to go because I was a big part of the show, and it was really going to take a big chunk out of a lot of things, but I wanted to move on, so he just wasn't accepting it at all. So I wrote that song because there was a love-hate relationship with us, how it is with any business partners, and we had a lot of big hits, duets, and so anyhow, that was the song I wrote for him. But then that became a hit with me in the early 70s, and then in the early 80s, and with Burt Reynolds, we did it in Best Little Chicken House in Texas, and then Whitney, of course, when she did it, it went worldwide. I mean, Lordy, I thought, oh, is that my little song? Everybody says that's Whitney's song. I said, well, she can have the credit as long as I get my cash.
Indeed.
Yeah, but she did such a magnificent job with that.
It was beautiful. I talked to Kirk Whalen, the jazz saxophonist who played that song for her, and he said that for him, when he heard that song, he always heard it as a love song from Jesus Christ to him. What do you think of that interpretation?
Now that's first, because I've had people tell me that to them they related to it when their son left home, went to the military. Somebody else said, well, when my daughter went off to college, or when they grew up and left home. And then I've had people play it at funerals. This one person told me that she played it, her daddy was dying in the hospital, and she played that song because he loved it. Oh, he couldn't talk then, but he wanted them to play that song, so he kept playing that to his children, I Will Always Love You. So then people play it at funerals. People have told me, like in my situation, like business partnerships, like with Porter and my relationship. And so, but now I hadn't heard of it from, but Jesus would always love us, wouldn't he?
Indeed.
Well, that puts a whole new
So
spin
he
on
took
it.
it line by line. I was like, yeah, I gotta go, but
Well, yeah.
I'll think of you all the way, and it
And I hope
works.
life treats you kind,
You
and I
got
wish you
it.
joy and happiness, and above
Yes.
this, I wish you love, because God is love. Yeah.
Indeed. Now, for you, it all started in the church. How important is that to you today?
It's very important. It has served me so well through the years to believe in those scriptures, like through God, all things are possible. That's still a biggie to me today. Even when I'm having, problems, I always, when I think somebody says, oh, you'll never be able to pull that off. You'll never do this. Yes, I can, because through God all things are possible. But I really lean on my faith. I'm not that religious, but I'm very spiritual, and I remember everything. I know my scriptures. I grew up with that. But I pray every day. I ask God to lead me and direct me. And I wrote a song called The Seeker, which is one of the things that's going to be one of the movies of the week for NBC. And we're hoping that possibly it might also be a series. And it's about, it says, I'm just a seeker, just a poor sinful creature, and there's no weaker than I am, but you're a teacher, and you're a reacher, so reach down and guide me and lead me, and just help me in all the things that I do. So anyhow, I'm trying to do something where I would love to have a series that's faith-based, a Christ-like person on earth, just someone that goes around trying to help people, kind of like Touched by an Angel, but as a guy with that Christ kind of spirit. But anyhow, I just really lean on that heavily. I do my prayers every day. I do my little meditations every day. But I just do my best.
Last question for you. I mean, you, and as far as songwriting goes, it's simply amazing, the roster. Where does that come from? I mean, it's so powerful.
Well, I like to think it comes from God, because my mother's people are very talented, but because I always, I try to stay locked in to that higher wisdom, that greater spirit, and I just try to keep myself energized from that, and that's a very creative spirit for me. So anytime I'll write something and it's just a line that I know didn't come from me, I just always say, give me a high five, Lord, give me a thumbs up, so I think, yeah, that's good.
3,000 songs later, he keeps coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.